Sometimes a drone sees what a person would never notice from the ground. Hidden cities, giant animals, dangerous cliffs, destruction, explosions, and places where it is better not to approach at all. In this episode, the most incredible footage shot from the air, from the mesmerizing beauty of nature to moments that realistically make you uneasy. Watch until the end, because some of these shoots look as if they were accidentally cut from a science fiction film. Let us count the sheep. There is no better sight for instantly calming down, so pacifying is this landscape. The sheep run so densely along the green slope of the hill that they merge into one white blurred spot against the background of the mountains. Even the drone can barely keep up with them. What at first looks like an earthy mass that you take for a landslide is actually a huge herd of hoofed animals. They suddenly decided that it was absolutely necessary for them to cross a busy highway, and the drivers had no other choice but to lean back, relax, and also count. You can count the seconds, or you can count the horned heads, just like children count the carriages of a passing train at a railway crossing. Either way, the unexpected safari will end at some point. A huge herd moves like a living pattern, visible only from above. The feeling is that this is a demonstration of a collective mind, but is someone inside this living spot directing the others? Any herd has a leader and his deputies. The stones are so perfectly carved and arranged that one begins to doubt, could nature really have created this installation? And what if these are the remains of some ancient cult or burial complex, or perhaps an analog of Stonehenge? What do you think? Does human civilization have any relation to them? The drone explored an unusual pit in the ground and discovered a hidden ecosystem there. Who knows how many years it has existed separately from the outside world, with its own flora and fauna. There must be a completely unknown, lost fairy tale world hiding there. Who would have thought that excavators could row like Olympic champions? The huge machine moves so confidently through the water that one cannot help but wonder how multifunctional the iron arm turns out to be. It is suitable as an oar too. If you think rowing is easy, try coordinating the efforts of 100 people in one boat. It will either be perfect synchronization, like in this video, or total chaos and wet pants. I think such well-coordinated cooperation is only possible in China. However, the hieroglyphs lead me to this thought, but if I am mistaken, correct me in the comments. A huge crowd of people in red and orange t-shirts is dancing synchronously. Is this a mass ritual or just a flash mob? Then let me guess, are they celebrating the International Day of Red Caviar? Or here, somewhere in previous episodes we had a video about the migration of crabs. Maybe these are wildlife defenders? And now, imagine how many spectators a performance by a mega-popular star can gather. Let us take into account the dizzying speed of the drone and calculate the approximate number of people at the concert. It seems a whole city is gathered here, and in the back rows they can hardly understand who is on the stage anymore. A sunset can be so beautiful that it attracts the attention of the entire population of the coast. Perhaps, if we fly higher, we will see that even more people gather on the shore every such evening than at that concert. Well, and the artist is fatter. Here performs celebrity number 1, the star named Sun. Some shots need no explanation. Just look, freeze with delight, and observe high-quality cinematography of real life in a city where movement never stops. No actors or script are needed. Just launch a drone over the metropolis and shoot a reality show. Some places remind us of what nature is capable of and its inexhaustible imagination. From above, this landscape looks like a magical postcard in 4K format, which, moreover, is moving. It is difficult to choose the most beautiful landscape shot from a drone, but this one definitely enters the number of main contenders. Here too, the illusory impression is created that a narrow strip of land is hovering in the heavens. It is strange to think that people dream of conquering space when our planet is far from fully explored. Probably you did not even suppose that on Earth there are also many fantastic views similar to footage from other planets. Here, for example, is a completely Martian landscape. Have you ever wondered where clouds come from? Modern drones allow us to observe an amazing process, the gradual formation of clouds over the mountains. This magnificent cinema can be watched in stunningly clear quality, as if you yourself were sitting somewhere on a cloud. Another second, and it seems the train will tear off the rails and float through the clouds. The composition enters a thick fog, and the bridge is hidden in it. Welcome to the fairy tale world of optical illusions. Those riding in the carriages do not even suspect how spectacular it looks from the outside. Without a doubt, this is one of those very moments when the beauty of nature can only be seen from a bird's eye view. One can only endlessly admire what matchless pictures she draws. Without a drone, this place would also have remained unnoticed. Beautiful, strange, and completely unaware of its viral video potential, the Ship Hotel looks majestic but a little sad since it is not destined to go on a cruise. Building a bungalow inside a decommissioned Boeing on the edge of a cliff is a cool idea, right? And the views from here are incredible, and life gains a lightness. It always seems as if you were hovering above the vanity. Even the most luxurious swimming pools and water amusement parks cannot compare with this natural masterpiece. It is amazing how a natural landscape can be used not only for entertainment, but also for aesthetic pleasure. Magnificent architecture can be called buildings that amaze the imagination even with their view from above. It is good that these masterpieces are still designed by humans for now, and drones only allow us to admire them from all angles. Is it not true that this is the most real fantasy, which with the advent of drones became possible in real life? Now this is an observation deck. Unreal landscapes, all yours, without grills and cables, because it hangs over the rock like a drop of dew. The only question is, would you dare to step onto its crystal floor yourself? How do you like such conscious travel? The extreme experience of living in a hotel does not imply other amenities besides a hammock on a rock. At least, you will not need an alarm clock. The realization that there are hundreds of meters of emptiness below should wake you up on time. Now next in line is another family of extreme rock climbers. The bears chose a sheer descent, but it seems only the spectators are worrying. That is, you and I. The mother bear clearly knows what she is doing. An ideal place for a date if both of you are not afraid of heights. One can say about this couple, high relations. This place is created for those who want to see everything at once. The best view of the city is guaranteed. The main condition is if you do not have a fear of heights and agoraphobia, because it is always crowded here and the view can make your head spin. Some desperate daredevils casually stroll along a narrow ledge over the abyss, as if for them this is a morning promenade in the park. My knees buckle just looking at this arch. It is probably also windy there. Photographs from this cliff in Norway have always been popular, but thanks to drones, videos from here have become especially impressive. Go to the fjord, catch Zen. There will always be one or those who are cooler. Yoga on the edge of a precipice is cool in all senses. And we are talking here not only about flexibility or perfect self-control, but also about the complete absence of the instinct of self-preservation. Yes, these guys should stick their tongues out at that uncle just sitting on the fjord, and to those guys in the hammock and the guys in the hut under the rock. Climbing a sheer cliff without a safety rope? No thank you, I exercise caution even when I clamber onto high bar stools. But this woman clearly pays no attention to gravity. It is interesting how she will descend. This seems to be more difficult. The force of gravity can be ignored, but not cancelled. Suspiciously large cracks should hint at major processes in the plates. Have the continents really decided to diverge once again? The next time you want to complain about your tiresome commute to work, just remember this plot, what some people go through to get to their workplace, and then once again to return home, most likely at dusk. Rock formations of unusual shapes create a landscape practically inaccessible for the passage of a filming crew or ordinary tourists with cameras. Launching a drone in this case is perhaps the only way to capture this miracle without special efforts. And how stunning these shots are! Footage of a walk across the bridge takes your breath away as it is, but only shooting from a drone allows you to get unusual angles and appreciate the true scale of this amazing place. At first, this bridge seems ordinary, but as the drone moves away, a truly breathtaking scale opens up before our eyes. And would you dare to walk this distance over the abyss along the crossbars? The bridge from a bird's eye view looks endless. There is something extraordinary in this landscape. Moreover, under your feet is a comfortable hard surface, not boards with holes, so you can calmly stroll and enjoy the beauties on both sides. There is no need to look down and monitor the safety of every step. And this bridge will defeat any extreme amusement park. Perfectly straight and level, but dangerously long, without any protective fencing, the landscape resembles the endless Russian expanses. This real test of courage, most likely, serves as the only crossing for those who walk on it or have the courage and confidence to drive on something. Let us head to the kingdom of coordinated actions. The view of the Tesla factory from a drone resembles an excursion into a fairy tale, where every movement of a robot is a perfect game. The movements are precise, as if a virtuoso is playing from sheet music. A huge orchestra of programmed robots performs masterpieces of technical achievements without a conductor, and no human operator, even the most agile, can compare with drones in the tricks and speed that they manage to perform during filming. Drones can do more than just film. We can appreciate the beauty even of a technical process. Industrial facilities such as dams and water pumping stations can also inspire no worse than beautiful mountain views. Let us take into account that these are very large structures. It is just that from above, they also resemble children's toys arranged in a puddle. It is best to observe megaprojects from a full-length shot of the entire panorama. Now we can fully appreciate the launch of a massive dam. From a bird's eye view, the spectacle truly takes your breath away. We have seen footage of the successful operation of gigantic structures. And now, next in line is an emergency situation. A drone captured the consequences of a dam breach. Heavy containers were carried away by the current and washed up against the barrier. Naturally, they got stuck in the structure after the destructive impact, while the current continued to twist and sink them. Perhaps you have heard this myth that in deep antiquity, millions of years ago, on Earth everything was not just big but very big. And if we find skeletons and fossilized parts of giant animals such as dinosaurs or megalodons, then why should there not be trees of gigantic size as well? It is just that not all of them could be preserved. What the drone footage shows us now looks like the remains of one of the largest trees in the world. Its true dimensions can be truly appreciated only from the height of a helicopter flight or even an airplane, and for comparison, a car is parked nearby. A giant crocodile is being unloaded for installation on the shore. What is the purpose of such an art installation? Is it installed as an appeal not to litter, or is the goal to create a reason for panic? Considering how realistic this monster looks, some vacationers will probably run away first and then ask questions. Someone decided to outdo the creators of the crocodile and crafted this. The art installation in the form of a giant steel skeleton of a snake attracts attention from all sides, but the view from above is perhaps the most impressive. And what if it has a real prototype from antiquity? Another plot from the realm of gigantomania. Impressive filming allows us to appreciate the enormous dimensions of the giant rocket. And all this is thanks to the drone operator. No other camera has such a zoom as to fit the entire panorama into itself. Aerial photography helps reveal the inconceivable complexity of some technical projects. Perhaps even the workers on the platform do not fully realize how great their risk is on the very edge. The main thing is that they are not shown these shots, otherwise a strike will surely follow with demands to increase wages and insurance and so on. These water slides do not look childish at all. It is good that the drone is recording. Later, you will be able to review this run at home and evaluate from the outside all the steep turns of the ride when you are carried away into the sunset. If you are afraid to ride roller coasters or your city does not have such an amusement park, let us do it right now. Free of charge, not scary, and exciting. The drone follows the attraction along the entire route, repeating every turn. For thrill seekers, this is the best advertisement, and for those who have just taken a virtual tour, the vestibular apparatus will not go on strike. To be honest, I did not suspect that the entertainment industry on cruise ships is so fantastic. This ship exceeded all expectations. On its deck, there is a full-fledged go-kart track. Are these not miracles? A floating amusement park. A ride on a cable car over a stormy river, apparently, takes place in the season when the weather is restless. An impressive sight, even through the screen, but I would prefer to head to the tropical resort from another video, where the water is bright blue. It is one thing to glide on a zip line over a mountain stream tucking in your legs. It is another to set off to fight this very stream. Even more so, kayaking is one thing, but racing through narrow tunnels along a rapid river, that is where the real extreme begins. A drone accidentally captured a prank played by the sea itself. Never underestimate the power of waves. Let us call it a shapeshifter. One should not turn their back on the waves. They will certainly deliver a treacherous blow. Some prefer peaceful sea voyages on calm waters, for example, multi-deck cruise liners. But if you have ever ridden a speedboat on big waves, then you will hardly forget these sensations. On the one hand, you want it to end as soon as possible, and on the other, your soul asks for more and more. A drone is an excellent assistant if you want to shoot an impressive private film about sports. You can enjoy the ride and not think about whether the angle will be successful or whether the operator will turn on the camera at the exact second. Everything will be simply super, and the audience will definitely appreciate your achievements. Even in poor visibility conditions, he continues to ride as if the slope is perfectly illuminated. I wonder how the drone following the trickster endures these weather conditions. They must be harder for it. Next up, we have an extreme sports enthusiast who is rushing down a slope. This is called freestyle, and as you understand, there are no tracks here. This is not a ski resort, but a wild sport. When an ordinary parachute jump seems insufficient, you land on the top of a mountain and rush down the slope until it becomes a precipice. And then you pull the ring. Pure adrenaline pours through you from the sky to the earth, and your trail turns into an avalanche. Do you want to try? If you listen only to the soundtrack, it will seem to you that this is a report from an apiary, but no, it is the buzzing of the drone and the snow scooters that it is filming. Winter sports are invigorating in themselves, but when we have a whole group of athletes in aerial filming, the scene becomes truly epic, and the monotonous sound can later be replaced with a dynamic track, then it will be even better. This Daredevil lives with a heart rate of 200 beats per minute. Judging by his energy, he is letting loose so much that even the drone cannot keep up with his frantic somersaults. Did you understand what just happened here? Judging by the number of feathered guests, this place is a real winter paradise for ducks. Let us say a duck resort. They flock here from all over the continent to rest at the waters. On a snow-white sandy beach with turquoise water, tourists watch with awe as rays glide through the shallow water, as if they swam up to chat. Probably this vacation became unforgettable. It is good that the footage has been preserved. You cannot shoot like that from the shore. Another interesting excursion, a view from above. Imagine that you are calmly sailing on a transparent boat, and beneath you is the largest fish on the planet, a whale shark, or just a bunch of ordinary ones, and you are soaring above them in a mermaid costume. The surfer anticipates the wave. He does not think about what is happening right next to him in the ocean at this moment. But when a marine giant swims past a group of surfers, time stands still. No words are needed to understand how tiny humans look next to such a colossus, for whom the entire world ocean is a spacious native home. Another picture to which the same title fits, only here it is the other way around. Not a resident of the sea among people, but a diver who miraculously mingled into a school of sharks and calmly swims among them. Maybe they also mistook him for one of their own. Another option for comparison. A tiny boat next to an oceanic giant looks like a toy drifting next to a marine deity. However, how did they end up in this trap? On the other hand, otherwise we would never have seen such miracles had someone not thought of launching a drone into the sky. At first, it is difficult to understand what is happening, but look closely. An unidentified giant is slowly moving under a thick layer of ice. It seems that a submarine decided to become an icebreaker. Actually, this is a whale breaking through the frozen surface to breathe. Indeed, because he could have overcome hundreds of kilometers of depth and ended up where the ocean had frozen. And now, real footage of how a submarine breaks through the ice, like that same black whale from the snowy darkness. You must agree, they are incredibly similar. A submarine from above looks like a metallic iceberg. The silent presence of threatening power appears before our eyes with its austere beauty. The icebreaker easily cuts through the frozen sea, like a knife goes through butter. Smoothly and unstoppably, the layers part to make way for people, and the crew, probably, is simply riding an attraction called the Winter Palace. Let us see how the icebreaker turns an impassable mass into a waterway. When it gets to work, its power amazes the imagination. With one movement, the vessel rips open the ice floes like a thin sugar crust. It is best to watch this show in slow motion mode. Rockfalls do not happen suddenly. Preconditions are created for them, such as unsteadily standing individual boulders. It is better to spend time working with the preconditions than with the consequences. These guys are here to prevent danger, or what is worse, a tragedy. They were tasked with conducting a controlled rockfall, and they coped brilliantly. When old equipment is no longer needed, there is no sense in removing the huge Hulk hole. It is easier to blow it up on the spot. The controlled detonation of a giant mining machine is a spectacular sight in itself, but observing it from above reveals the true scale of the destruction. There is a feeling that we are watching the grand finale of a Hollywood blockbuster. If you tried to plow a plot and stumbled upon a stone boulder, then the problem is solved with the help of explosives. Moreover, you also receive a cool video clip as a gift, which can make your social media channel famous. The main thing is not to forget to launch a drone for filming. Explosions are also a kind of show, if they are controlled and do not cause harm to health. This detonation here does not look simply like destruction, it is cinematic. Slow-motion filming is also suitable for a documentary film with a profound idea that humans can create and destroy. Sometimes the texture seems deceptive. What are these fountain-like splashes? Before us is the process of detonating massive layers of earth for industrial purposes, and it looks terrifying. It seems that the rock turns into liquid and flows from the force of the explosion. With proper calculation, dismantling with the help of detonation is precision, speed, and a truly breathtaking spectacle. How else could one have shot the entire panorama? Several cameras and cranes would have been needed, but here one drone coped and there is no need to edit anything. Dismantling an entire stadium is a grandiose spectacle, but only a drone can truly capture its scale. It also does not leave behind apocalyptic destruction. Everything happened exactly as planned. A little noise, a little more dust. Let us watch how this house changes its address. Yes, exactly like that. It moves by itself. Nowadays, moving an entire building to another place is not science fiction. Although this is a complex and expensive task, it is just an engineering reality. Probably it is still cheaper to transport a house on wheels than to dismantle one structure and erect exactly the same one, if someone needed it in the same form but in another place. The drone captured the process of demolishing the building in minute detail. The explosives did their job perfectly. Let us see how the landscape changed in a few seconds. First, we only hear the sounds of the detonation, and only after some time the structure begins to fold. Surprisingly, not a single one of the private houses located nearby was damaged. Now, what cannot be imagined can only be seen and evaluated. The explosion of a combat drone over a target scatters thousands of deadly fragments. The machine turns into a sieve. Now you understand how effective they are in combat. Tests of military equipment look especially impressive. This spectacle of a demonstration of power is best watched from a high balcony, since being in the stalls is simply unsafe. The drone managed to capture the explosions from a distance inaccessible to humans for reasons of reasonable precaution. If I did not say right now that rockets would be sent into the sky, someone might decide that they are seeing an unusually lavish birthday celebration. This launch looks so smooth, as if giant candles are being lit on a huge cake. There is a little more smoke than from candles, but the feeling of celebration is much less childish. Transporting a huge and heavy cargo is a true engineering art. Not every company would dare to guarantee a result in one take, but as we see, the driver is coping perfectly, whereas the representative of authority understood that he would have to hurry so that his workday would not go down the drain. Huge trucks transport giant parts of a future bridge. Looking at this monumental spectacle from above, it seems as if a civilization of titans is building a new world. When your drone flies with lightning speed through narrow slits, you forget that the scene in the action simulator is on the other side of the screen, in virtual reality. And behind the remote control on this, physical side is not a superhero, but just a normal guy in slippers who is simultaneously sipping soda. Drones, as is known, emit a buzzing sound which not everyone likes, but it seems the noise does not scare these birds at all. Moreover, it allows us to enjoy the view from inside their huge flock. Surprisingly, the obstacle on the way absolutely does not knock them off course. Tricks that you cannot repeat dozens of times are best captured with the help of a drone. Then the most spectacular episodes will come out flawlessly from the best angles. Incredible mastery, is it not true? I mean both the execution and the filming. Sometimes you want to get closer to a miracle of nature, but intuition suggests that it is better to keep a safe distance. Sulfuric acid could easily splash out of this cauldron. Again, it is better to entrust the filming to a drone and keep it at a safe distance. Sometimes words are superfluous. Some moments seem to stage episodes from deep antiquity. I think even thousands of years ago, such a picture in the desert could have looked almost the same. A sand avalanche from afar may look harmless, but do not be fooled. It is no less dangerous than its snow counterpart. And although the sand will not freeze you, it will bury you up to your eyebrows and just the same deprive you of vision, movement, and worst of all, oxygen. Snowfall in the desert is a real miracle. It turns familiar landscapes into something magical and unique. The snow settles on the hot sand like powdered sugar on a cookie. This does not happen often, but in these rare moments, the entire desert in the blink of an eye becomes an alien world. Even a small war can look very dramatic. After watching this video, all gardeners will want to have such a flamethrower drone because fighting giant insect nests manually is not the most pleasant and successful occupation. Do not be frightened, these are not terrorist acts. The setting fire to the agricultural lands was started by the farmers themselves to clear the field. When they play with fire, agricultural work becomes an art industry. The Donghai Bridge is one of the longest in the world. This grandiose maritime structure connects mainland Shanghai with the deep-water Yangshan port. From above, it looks like a road to nowhere, but considering its length of 32 kilometers, it is not surprising that the perspective goes beyond the horizon. If the bridge can withstand a heavy truck that got stuck on it, then a breakdown is not a problem. Help will arrive soon, even if the scene looks frightening considering the height, but most likely, the designers calculated for an even greater load. And here we have incredibly heavy traffic on the water, probably the largest concentration of workboats and small vessels that you have ever seen. How many of them? Hundreds or even thousands? I wonder, is this something like a race, a regatta, or a joint strike? Many residents of Florida are no different from Venetians. They use water transport just as citizens of ordinary cities use an automobile. On weekends, everyone goes for a picnic in nature, that is, to the ocean. The shallow waters of the lagoons are an ideal place not only to enjoy the seascapes, but to meet people who share your feelings. If one does not understand the true scale of the structure, then one might think that this is a dwelling of snakes or a termite mound. But let us look at the real size. The drone provided us with unique footage of an ancient Turkish city carved into the rock. A whole town of identical houses resembling fairy tale castles. This place seems like a magical kingdom. In principle, it is, because every mansion in this new elite real estate settlement stands like a separate island with its own lands and servants. Traditional Chinese houses comfortably nestle attached to sheer cliffs. The landscape simply takes your breath away. It seems that paradise on Earth is right here. A drone can film any event as a commercial. For it, there are practically no impossible tasks. A stunning perspective with an obvious design undertone from nature. The unique mineral composition colors the water pink on one side of a narrow straight road. On the other side, the water remains ordinary, and the contrast looks like a painting. An amazing color and geometric solution. Is it not true? Minimalist artists, take note. Let us look at the pink lake from the air. This is not just a stunning landscape, but a real wonder of nature. The scale of this beauty takes your breath away, and the high quality of the filming only emphasizes its uniqueness. Here we have another river the color of rosé wine. Such watercolor can be the result of chemical pollution or a consequence of natural processes, such as the blooming of certain algae. Then observing this beauty is not dangerous to health. Launching a drone at night over a cemetery is a dubious idea, but it is not surprising that it came to someone's mind. I think this someone simply did not dare to go there with a camera personally. It goes without saying that something strange was noticed there. It only remains to hope that this strange something will not attach itself to the drone and fly back with it. The time has come to shudder. Sometimes drones discover such places that no one should have ever found. It is terrible to imagine how many abandoned, creepy places similar to this one exist in the world. From above, it looks like a ghost of the past, swaying in the wind of time. But I suppose none of you would want to discover something similar personally, for example, on a mountain hike. Another good reason to always send a scout drone ahead of you. The owners of this house had absolutely no intention of erecting it on the edge of a cliff with a raging torrent. But at some point, the current of a massive flood washed away the road and caused a landslide. The drone captured the scene when the house ended up balancing on the very edge of the precipice. The wreckage of an airplane looks like a wound on the body of the planet. People stand silently. The drone is filming. Just a statement of fact. No commentary is needed. The consequences of nature's fury wreak havoc even at sea. Something breaks down into strange debris, and the drone shows us everything that is happening. A storm or hurricane scattered them over a huge area. It is good to know about this so that they do not cause harm to small vessels. Not everyone has drones on board to view the waterways lying ahead. Drones help perfectly in analyzing emergency incidents. Right now, the unmanned aerial vehicle is documenting the chaos that remained here after the derailment of a freight train. These wagons scattered everywhere look like a mega puzzle. The drone must capture every detail that can give the investigation a clue to finding out the causes of the incident. In the mountains, helicopters have become indispensable, especially in rescue operations. But it is not bad at all when a drone monitors the course of the operation. The helicopter pilot has no time to saw content and comment. In fact, the drone is the most honest witness, and if something, God forbid, goes wrong, it will be able to shed light on the situation. When your friend is stuck in the water and the entire rescue team is you and your car, the operation turns into a show called Skill plus a little madness is the key to success. A morning jog with obstacles sounds great, but if you lose your balance, it will turn into an invigorating splash. Although, of course, running on inner tubes is much more attractive than the monotonous squeak of a treadmill indoors. Another video for those who are thinking about changing jobs. How do you like such a routine? Diving to the bottom of the ocean with scuba gear and cleaning giant propellers. Do you want to start, or will you work at your old place for a while? You probably got upset looking at this, some dirty streams pouring into the ocean. Do not get upset, this is not an ecological catastrophe. Who would have thought that dredging operations could look so alarming, as if the drone accidentally ended up on the set of an apocalyptic blockbuster? Another mysterious place, is it not true? Even from above it is a little creepy. For some reason, a gathering of ducks does not cause so much anxiety. But relax, this is just the same kind of picnic for those whose hobby is ice fishing. And would you like to find yourself there, on the ground? Since there are so many willing people who took their places in advance, it means it is biting. And this hysterical fishing with nets is more reminiscent of catching butterflies than fish. People run along the beach as if a timer is ticking for them. Maybe this is some kind of game competition, or the ocean is closing for a break soon. Drones, of course, can do all sorts of things, but would you have guessed that with their help you can radically change your approach to a hobby? For example, rising into the air for fishing is already a completely different level than senseless running around with nets. It only remains to hope that the fish will not prove stronger and pull the fishermen down. The animal world has the same rules on land and underwater, survival of the fittest. All that a drone can do is observe how marine predators decide who is the boss. Not bad to watch this before setting off on sea fishing, right? A drone can hover over a target, opening up new possibilities for artistic filming. For example, for choreography, a striking dance kaleidoscope, is it not true? Finally, the ideal employee for this position has been found. The drone films a robot washing the windows of a skyscraper. Not just like that, for entertainment apparently, this is quality control of the work. When a scarecrow looks so realistic that even a drone hesitates to approach, it is clear that birds definitely will not take the risk. The one who made it probably worked in the film industry before, and Freddy Krueger's makeup from A Nightmare on Elm Street is his handiwork. He could make a good fortune on orders from other farmers. Where is this synchronous line of identically dressed people heading? Are we observing a gathering of a secret order? Or is this some special squad heading on a special mission? Honestly speaking, I would like to know more. This marching rank looks extremely suspicious. Sometimes a drone catches something that was carefully disguised on the ground, but the view from above gives us a little more than we should have known about this object. An excellent way to celebrate an anniversary! A flight on hot air balloons is in itself already a magical event, but add a drone as your companion and you will get a colorful masterpiece for your family archive, filmed in high resolution. The work of launching fireworks can only be fully appreciated from above. Observation from the ground, of course, is also impressive, but aerial photography from a drone offers uniquely beautiful angles of the entire panorama of the spectacle and the stages of the process, from the volley to the flash in the sky. Big celebrations rarely end without a final touch, a dazzling firework. With each year, it becomes increasingly massive and spectacular. Even those who believe they have seen everything will be amazed by this canvas. And with each year, the opportunity to watch fireworks like this with a full perspective and not in parts craning one's neck upwards gains more sense. Let us watch a thriller in the home video genre. A drone indoors is a real nightmare for a cat. The poor thing dashed around the house like an action hero, trying to escape from the annoying flying overseer. It seems she did not manage to find a shelter for herself, and now the kitty has a twitching eye. Perhaps this is not the best way to entertain your pet. Not only cats hate drones. Crocodiles were resting on the pier until an annoyingly buzzing drone with cameras appeared. Now they are awake. The rest is over, but this drone had better stay away from their tails and jaws. A vivid illustration of the fact that animals do not like surveillance. The crocodile did not like the aerial filming, and with one precise swing of his tail, he sent the drone into a knockout. Let us replay to understand how this happened. Again, the risk of ending up in someone's teeth. A test flight can turn into an emergency landing. The dog did not read the manual and mistook the expedition participant for a troublemaker. It is worth training dogs how to treat drones, otherwise they will mistake it for a frisbee plate. These guys put on a whole concert of barking and jumping for the drone. It survived but possibly received a minor tail injury. The drone follows running kangaroos at minimum altitude. Surprisingly, these animals are not afraid of the unmanned aerial vehicle and even approach it to investigate after landing. You must agree, you would not have managed such a close acquaintance. Even at the pursuit stage, you would have lost. One in the field is not just not a warrior, but not even a player. But a drone will always find company to compete in catching up. By the way, animals are excellent with reactions. They behave like experienced professional athletes. The ice is so thin that only a drone can film a diving polar bear, but most likely it is not a matter of the ice thickness. A human would hardly dare to obtain with his own hands such impressive footage of wild nature shoots. Is it not true? And the bear is also not averse to snatching the drone. He is exactly chasing after it. It buzzes annoyingly because... Who would have thought that wild boars are Olympic sprinters? All because the buzzing celestial spies started tracking them. The animals flew into a rage and tried to hide from the annoying pursuit. Let us make sure that drones are controlled by people, and a person often makes vexing blunders. The launch of this large copter could have become a triumph, if not for a fatal error by the operator. In a few seconds, the drone entered into a very personal fight with him, and it hurt. The drone tried to shoot a cool angle, but instead got into a scrape itself, crashed into a road sign, an unexpected finale. And now let us trace the flight control. On the other side is clearly a person. When a flying overseer hovers over you, the first reaction is confusion, the second is panic, and the third is a spontaneous dance on camera to become famous. So they socialized, as the saying goes. One can remake the proverb in an actual way. Man is a drone to man. Our applause to all participants in the episode. Again, hazards at work. You plan to fly near a radio tower? Good luck, but everything is already too obvious. Add this to the list of real risks of losing your freshly shot cool material. A powerful signal from the tower can permanently disorient your drone. Another failure due to operator error. The girl was already imagining how she would upload an epic video and everyone would admire and envy, but oops, the drone had other plans. We got only the offended buzzing of blades and a dull thud. Trying to capture a delightful landscape with the help of a drone, we accidentally get an amusing scene in which the phone slips away from its owner. A drone can also leave you without long goodbyes. One gust of wind and you lose control over the steering. If you think it is easy for drones to get fantastic footage for us, you are mistaken. Look how much risk there is in their travels. Wind, water, and wild nature are not their allies at all. Another surprise. This drone was just aiming for a flight under a bridge, but instead lured out a city madman from there with cold weapons in both hands. Well, it is high time to instantly gain altitude and to notify those around about a possible social danger. Another example of what a drone risks. This one was shot down. We can trace what it saw last and decide whether it was an accident. Let us call it a technical malfunction, or if someone was really dissatisfied with the uninvited guests. Considering the creepy little house and its strange inhabitant, it seems the camera captured what no one should have seen. Which plot crashed into your memory brighter than the rest today? Write in the comments everything you think about these videos and subscribe to the Top Facts channel for collections of the most incredible facts and videos from all over the internet. Thank you for watching, and right now watch the previous incredible episodes that have already appeared on your screen.